great finger food. I'm gonna show you how to make it, and it's actually real simple. I have here 4 nice pieces of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Get them on the board here, and let's see if there's any trimming we have to do. There is a little bit of fat I can see, and I know you don't like that.
No, I don't.
Let me get mine. Just get that off quickly here. Just take it off. And one of the things I don't like about nachos, and that's what we're changing in this recipe, is when they serve them in restaurants, you know, then, or you're getting them for a finger food, for a drink or something like that, they use just melted cheese. And then when they come on the table, then the cheese...
It's impossible to eat that.
No, because then the cheese just clumps together when it cools down, and then you get that
Yeah, you want to take a bite and you take a whole portion.
Yeah, exactly. You want to take a nacho chip, you know, with the, whatever is in or what you have loaded it with, and that, and with some cheese sauce. That's what we're doing here. Clean and ready to get some seasoning on them. And for seasoning, we are going to go with, we have some leftover seasoning from the jambalaya episode we made some time ago. And it's a really good spice mixture. So I think we're going to use the rest of this for our chicken. It matches nicely with chicken, but this has very little salt. So first I'm going to give them a quick round of salt and then flip them over. A little bit on the back side here. And then a coating of our Cajun spice mix. You can make whatever spice mixture you prefer for this. Depends what. Something with cumin and some paprika, stuff like that.
Some garlic.
Yeah, garlic powder and
the usual suspect.
The usual suspect. Some either chili or chipotle, whatever you have of spice. You need a little bit of spice in this, otherwise it's not
It has
nachos.
to have a kick there.
Yeah, you need to. It's nachos after all.
Ah, so we're eating good tonight.
Yes, we are. Let me give them a coating here on the presentation side. Not that it matters, because they're going to go into nachos chopped up, but still. And at least they're pretty when they're on the smoker. That's a nice coating. And then I want to put them on a rack here so that I get smoke all around. Now, actually, I will use my fingers because I want to position them so they lie nicely for cooking. Something like that.
You can't use a chicken fillet for that?
Of course you can.
Ah.
Of course you can. You just have to be more careful when you are with the temperature, because if you cook them too far, you have to stop the chicken breast much before thighs. Thighs, they can easily go to 82, 83 degrees, and they're still juicy.
Fine.
Let me wash my hands, and then I'll see you at the smoker. We have our Green Mountain grill up to temperature. It's running at 140 degrees. That would be 280, 290 Fahrenheit, something like that. And we have a beautiful view today, so it's nice. And now we want to get these in. I know where my grill is warmest. It's down here at this end, so I'm going to put them in the middle. And if you notice, I have drip trays underneath because I hate when fat starts dripping into the bottom of my grills. So just a little tip there.
Your wife doesn't appreciate it at all.
For sure. So now we're going to let them enjoy their life in there while we move on with our other ingredients. And now let's make a quick guacamole. Not that there are many secrets to that. I think you know that recipe. But anyway, we're going to do it so you can see. There are a few tricks or changes to the original recipe here that we prefer. Ah, that was easy. That was super ripe. We were lucky this time. You never know with avocados, you know. So these are perfect. I love it when they're good. They just come out like nothing. That's what you want to see. We get another one. And we smash everything up with a fork until we get to about this consistency. And out with that. And then we're going to go in lime juice. That is absolutely critical for a good guacamole. What do you say, 2 limes?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I love the lime.
That freshness there and a nice perfume.
And for me, it also smells the beginning of barbecue season because we don't use so much lime in the winter.
Ooh.
That was juicy.
Smells very nice.
It does. It's an excellent, excellent recipe. I love it.
Great.
And for the rest of the ingredients, it's fairly simple. The version that we are going with here. We are going in with some finely diced white onion, some finely diced tomato, flesh only. You don't want to water with guacamole, so only the flesh, okay? And then we're going to go in with some finely diced jalapeno. This is pickled jalapeno. That's a little bit of a twist. Normally you would use fresh jalapeno, but I'm using pickled today to give it a little bit of a
extra kick.
Exactly. And then a fair amount of finely chopped cilantro. You cannot do it without cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you could do parsley, but no,
it's not the same.
It's not the same. And a good pinch of salt with my cut finger. It happens.
We had a casualty.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna add, let's say, 1/4 teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, just to give it a little bit of a kick. And we mix all of this up. And we have a beautiful, nice guacamole with a little bit of a kick.
And we have for the next days also to put in other sandwiches because we love it.
Exactly. Unless we eat all of it today.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. I know my sister will come also and eat a lot. So.
Yeah, but you can lock the door. There we have it. Beautiful guacamole. I'm just going to give it a quick taste for salt. I know all the flavors are not combined yet, but I can determine whether it has enough salt. Beautiful guacamole. Cling film, fridge, and we move on. We've been going exactly half an hour right now. I know we are definitely not finished, but I want to get a temperature reading just to see, so I get a feeling how long time this is going to take. So let's see where we are here. 50, 50, 51. Let me see one of the others, probably the same, exactly 54. We have ways to go because I want to take them up to maybe 80, 82 as it's thighs, so at least half an hour. Now it's time to make our cheese sauce and prepare our vegetables. Have a big pan running over here on sort of medium-low heat. Gonna give it a couple of tablespoons of oil, nothing crazy. This is olive oil, you could use avocado oil, whatever you want. These are chopped, cubed sweet chilies. They're not super hot, but it's not red or green bell peppers. You could use jalapeños depending what your flavor is. These are mildly hot. And then a chopped up onion also, and all of which goes into our pan. And we're gonna let that sweat out here. Let that get started here. Think I'm gonna crank it up just a little bit so we get some action going. Then I have a small pot here where we're gonna add 2 knobs of butter, about 2 tablespoons, and let that melt. We are gonna create a little white roux for our sauce, and that's where the problem with the cheese on nachos come in. Because if you don't make a cheese sauce, then you just have melted cheese and melted cheese clumps together, and that's not nice. And since we are here at the stove, obviously you could also make the chicken here in the oven if you don't have a smoker. That's whatever you prefer. You could also make it nice on the flat top, for instance, if you have one of those.
Many options.
Many options. So this is almost melted. So we go in with a couple of tablespoons of flour, cook that up, make sure to keep stirring so we get this paste-like, and you want to keep cooking so that the flour releases the, I don't know what you call that, but it has to cook a little bit, otherwise it gets a floury taste, the sauce. You don't want that. So when we are about at this stage here, as you can see, nice consistency. You can also take it further if you want a dark roux, then it becomes brown. Then we start adding in a little bit of milk, little by little. And we build up a nice, thick, beautiful sauce. You want this to be thick. What was this? 250, 300 milliliter?
Yeah, 300.
A little more than a cup of milk. And this goes real quick, so. Well, if you want a more nutty flavor, as I said, then you let the roux go a little bit further and create a brown roux. Then it gets more nutty in the flavor. But today I want a white sauce, so I want a cheese sauce. Oh, listen to the vegetables. They're starting to go in with the rest. And that come up to temperature. I can give this here a little bit of a... They're not very happy to jump today, but they will get there. And we're going to go in with our cheese. What was this? 350 grams? I can't remember, something like that. Of grated, I think it was Gruyere.
Gruyere, yes.
No. You could also put in some sharp cheddar or whatever you feel like in flavor profile. Let that melt. And we give this a quick stir. Sauce is nice and melted, but it's a little bit too thick for my taste. So we're going to go in with a little bit more milk. That's the beauty about this. You can always adjust it. So a little bit more milk, and we'll see where this takes us. That's getting better. I can take a little bit more here.
It's a fine balance, you know,
yeah,
not
exactly.
to be very sticky and thick,
Don't
not to be
stick.
very
Exactly.
waterish.
Exactly. Don't stick to the measurements. Go by what you see, because it also depends what kind of cheese you use.
What kind of milk also?
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Oh, it starts looking like, look, that's a cheesy sauce. That's exactly what you want to see. That's the thickness. Look, drapes down beautifully. That is excellent. So just add milk until you have exactly the consistency you want. And the beauty about this recipe, by the way, is that you can prepare everything 2 hours before you want to serve it. Then you just build everything and then boom, back on the smoker. But I'll show you that. This one, we kill the heat, put it to the side. And then we see, I think our veggies, they are also almost there. I don't want to take them too far here. I think that's it. We want them sweated, softened a little bit, but I don't want to take away all the crunch of these. So we kill the heat on those. And now we just have to wait for our chicken. Chicken is out of the smoker and it's looking beautiful and it smells divine. We just let it cool down like 10 minutes, something like that, so we can cube it up. So this we are going to cut into first strips. It looks beautiful and juicy. Let me just have a tasting.
You can eat it on its own like that, right?
You could stop right here and just make beautiful smoked chicken. You don't have to go all the way to what we're going to do. This is fantastic.
To the crazy land.
This is so juicy. Now I'm gonna cube all this up and then we are ready to build. There we are, everything is ready. And now we're gonna build this beautiful thing. And what better vessel to do that in than in a wrought iron pan that's gonna look real nice. So first, layer of our tortilla chips. And yes, they are store-bought. You can make them yourself. We did it. There's a link down below how to do it. Is it worth the effort? Absolutely no.
No, they're better than the ones you buy or similar. So
yeah, but they don't get better. I mean, I'm a big fan of doing things on my own if I get better results. But if it isn't worth it to spend the time, fuck it. Anyway, a layer of chips in with some of our beautiful chicken here, because that is, after all, the star of the show. Some of that on top, a lot of that on top, actually. Remember our nice softened vegetables here? Spread some of that goodness on top. This is already looking beautiful, colorful and nice. And then we're gonna go in with some pickled jalapeños. That I just chopped them up roughly because you don't want them too big. You want to have them, you know, giving a bit of spice in a bite, but not to be too crazy big. Some red kidney beans. You could use pinto, you could use whatever you feel like of beans here, but beans, it's a nice addition in things like this. So that's the first layer. And then remember our beautiful, luscious cheese sauce.
the second star of the show. Wow.
Look at that. See, that is what a cheese sauce is supposed to be like.
That looks like bechamel from here, actually.
Oh, but it doesn't smell like it. Trust me. This is cheesy. This is going to be healthy for everybody today.
Yeah, I feel my cholesterol going bananas today.
Well, your cholesterol number is worse than mine, so...
Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, we eat the same.
So you make a second layer.
Yeah. It has to be, you know, this
So
is
you're creating a tower there.
I'm creating Mount Nacho. This is a crowd
okay.
pleaser, you know. It has to be like this, so. And then some chicken. Now I'll use a spoon because salt on my fingers is not a problem, but I don't want to be too greasy here. On with some of our beautiful chicken. Smoky, delicious, juicy, not to forget juicy. And as you said, couldn't you use chicken breast? Yes, of course you can, but it just gets dry, so don't do that.
Okay.
More of our goody vegetables here.
That looks impressive.
It's gonna be so good. Yeah, but you want to make it also when you serve it in the center, you know, for people to share. Then it has to look
That's
good.
a nice finger food, and it has everything.
Exactly. There is the bit of spice, bit of chips, bit of chicken, a lot bit of cheese, beans.
Okay, that's huge.
That's the whole idea.
Uh-huh.
And a scoop of goodness here over top.
That's the glue that will hold everything together.
Yeah, and I think we're going to take a little bit more because, after all...
Who doesn't like cheese?
Exactly. And just so we don't forget what it is we made, we're going to put a little bit of chicken on top so that we can see. And now, when we took the chicken out, I cranked up the smoker to 180 degrees. And now we're going to put it back in the smoker for probably 10 minutes to warm everything up, and then it's going to be thumbnail and tasting. Straight out of the smoker, and who would be annoyed if they saw that in the middle of the table? I mean, nobody. This is just a mountain. This is Mount Nacho. This is fantastic.
It's too good to be true in reality.
Remember our guac? So,
the third star of the show.
Exactly. A nice knob here on top. So it's dressed up. We will leave this on the side, of course, for dipping. Now, you could use sour cream to give a little bit of freshness to the side, but I prefer Greek yogurt, actually. So that's what we're going to do, but you do you. But a bit of good Greek yogurt, big dollop on top here. And that is just, oh, that was still warm. Now I burnt myself. That is just...
You cut yourself.
Yeah, it's a good day today, but never mind. No, I didn't burn myself. I got it out in time.
It's fantastic.
That there is a beautiful sight. Thumbnail's done, and I'm the lucky one. So now find the little chip here and a little... That's the problem about nachos. You need to have a vessel of helping you somehow out here, because chicken, cheese sauce, bit of our beautiful guacamole. It's so nice.
That's a mountain of happiness there and indulgence.
Oops. I have to get this on top also. See, that's the perfect bite. Little bit of everything. Now let's give it a taste. Invite 5, 6 good friends. Make a round of mojitos. Sit down. Put this in the middle. It's damn near perfect. I mean, the sauce is fantastic. The guacamole, the chicken, the smokiness of the chicken. Everybody's gonna love this. This is a crowd pleaser you have to make for the season.